With this recipe, I julienned a bunch of peppers, onions, carrots. Like I said, you can make this however you like. This is just one recipe to do it. You can steam your mussels with just white wine and garlic. You can steam them with just water. Really, it's up to you. I always tell everybody, cooking is what you make. So whatever you like to eat, that's what you make. I'm lucky because people like what I like to eat because that's what I cook in my restaurant. Alright, so I've been fortunate that people enjoy what I like to do. Alright, so we're going to get started now. After these things get julienne, guys, go ahead and fire up that. Okay, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to put a little bit of thyme inside our pan. Alright? I'd say, that's my buddy Frank's daughter. Alright, so we're going to put a couple sprigs of thyme into the oil. Why do we put this first? Because we want the oil to kind of get infused with the thyme flavor, you know? You don't want to put thyme into oil that's smoky. Why? Because it'll burn. So what I like to do is I like to start off the pan cold with the oil and the thyme inside. You can tell when it's ready because the thyme will start to pop. Okay, next step, we're going to add Scotch bonnet. So since I like heat, we're going to put plenty. Remember, at the end of the day, it all makes sense in your mouth. Keep the flame. You see what happens with young chefs? They want to take off and do all the flair. But what happens when they're up here? They're not cooking, right? The fire's down there. Keep that in mind. Alright? This is dual class. Keep them on teaching you. This is good. Everybody wins. Okay, next step. Once this stuff becomes fragrant, you can add a little bit of your julienne vegetables. No, I'm not going to put the garlic in this shit. I'm the chef, you're the assistant. Alright, buddy? You get to wear this thing and you can talk. Till then, you do. Alright guys, so we're adding the vegetables. Don't be afraid to add vegetables. Put as much as you want. Remember, this at the end of the day is going to add to the flavor. Now you're wondering, well, why hasn't he put the garlic in yet? Well, because what happens with garlic? It cooks fast, right? It'll burn. And what happens when garlic burns? It tastes bitter. It's disgusting actually, right? It tastes bad, right? I like this stuff. Alright, so go guys, do it like this. So, what I'm going to add next is a little bit of garlic. I'd say roughly a tablespoon or so. I think everybody loves garlic, right? I heard that, yeah. Alright, so now we're going to let the garlic get fragrant. Once the garlic starts to become fragrant is when we're going to add the mussels. We add the mussels, we add the beer. And then we just let them cook. Do it comes natural. Huh? Which class would that be, sir?
Anyone you want.
Restaurant preparedness 101?
That's right.
How to deal with a crazy aggressive chef? Oh boy. Okay guys, give it a quick one like this. Make sure everything's tossed around and nice and coated. Then a little beer. So I'd say about that much. Oh, that's dangerous. Don't do it. Yeah, I'll show you how to do it. So you do a little bit at a time, see? Got it? Okay, so go ahead and add your beer. Pour beer in there. So while the guys are pouring, I'm sipping. Cheers. Notice how I open one extra, it's just for me. You guys can't have it yet. Cut your fingers off. Alright. So, now we're just going to let things come natural and take steam. Right? As these things boil, what we do at the restaurant, we take them out one by one. That's a bit too much of a pain in the neck. We do that because I'm a bit neurotic. I don't want them to overcook. But if they stay in the pan bubbling while everything else is cooking, there's no big deal. It'll be okay. Alright, you guys ask, when do we season it? When do we have butter? Yeah, butter. Clarified butter, anyone know what that is? Okay. Clarified butter is when you melt and you separate the milk fat from the liquid part of the butter. You understand? The butter is kind of like, the butter in this stage is kind of an emotion. Alright? Because there is some milk inside. So what you do is you kind of slow simmer it until it begins to separate. And then slowly but surely you keep on skimming the top. Then you'll have butter oil on the bottom. That's what we use. We use that to prepare these. So, like I said with butter, we're going to add a couple pats to each one. Use as much butter as you like or as much as you don't want to use. Alright? Remember, if you have a diet, don't come eat at my restaurant because I use a lot of butter. Alright? We're just going to let those things steam for a little bit. As you see, they're taking their sweet time. Okay. So we're gonna finish this with a little bit of cilantro. I'm gonna julienne a little bit. We use this at the restaurants instead of cilantro. Why I feel that this has a more pungent flavor. Right? And it's kind of something I grew up eating. This is what my mother used because it grew in our backyard. Alright, so I'm going to do a quick chiffonade. We all know what a chiffonade is? Yeah? The fine julienne. When you're cutting herbs, especially delicate herbs like cilantro or basil, you want to use a nice sharp knife. And you also want just to do one pass with your knife. The minute you start to kind of going back and chopping it, it's going to bruise the herb, it's going to change the flavor. It's not going to be the flavor. Alright, so what we're starting to do here. Stir those up. Alright, so how are we going to season this, right? We're going to put a little bit of sea salt on top. Do you need to use black pepper? No, because remember, we just talked about it. But some people like the flavor, so I brought this here. So if you want it when you're trying them, let's bring this up. I use sea salt. We use sea salt a lot in the restaurant. We don't use the iodized salt. Reason being is because it's too fine in our hands and we really can't get a good measurement. So we use sea salt and we use kosher salt. Kosher salt being just a coarse salt. It's easier to measure, right? You like some more? That's good. Alright, so we're starting to steam up. I don't know if you guys can see the lights here. Covered. So as this one's starting to steam up, we're going to put a little more of this cilantro on top. Alright, here's a start one, not too bad. It's good. Keep on stirring, bro. Keep on stirring. Keep stirring too. So obviously, if we had the right equipment, I'll be able to get this out pretty fast. At the restaurant, we serve this with a bit of crostini. Crostini being some toasted bread. It's great to dunk into the broth after. Because remember, you have all the flavor of the beer, all those vegetables, the herbs, and the mussels mingling together. And obviously the butter. Say that again? Speak up. I agree. Alright? So does any kind of fat. Fat equals flavor. Don't forget that, guys. Alright? Bacon, fat, you name it. I like it all. Okay, so we're almost ready here. We're just going to season them up now. I'm going to use some coarse salt.
We're only big players anyway.
Alright, so be careful when you're using coarse salt. Remember, a little goes a long way. Alright, because it does have to melt. So we're using of course sea salt. Doing a little bit of that. You're rocking, man. For you. Okay, why don't you reach back there? I think we need more butter in this, guys. So we're going to put a little bit more. Alright? Alright, folks. We're going to be ready to eat in a little bit. All the butter. Alright, folks, I think we're ready. Let's give it a little taste and then I'll let you know. Oh yeah, these are good. They got a nice little kick to it, you guys will see. If you don't like spice, I'll make another batch when we're done. Without any, because it's pretty good. Alright, gentlemen. Folks, I'd like to invite you up here. We're going to start serving in a second, so whenever you're ready.